Commitment made, commitment fulfilled. I will answer the questions that were highlighted during today's 8:30 and 12:30 live streams. Shall we go to the first question? The question is from Ivana Alves. She says, "Good afternoon, Andrea Gonçalves. When exactly did Bolsonaro say he had sent that amount to Bananinha? Don't you think it's such a strong similarity between the amounts?" Here's the thing, Ivana is talking about the 2 million that in 2025 Bolsonaro said he sent to support Eduardo Bolsonaro over there in the United States. Bolsonaro stated that he took 2 million from the PIX transfers he received and sent it to Eduardo Bananinha over there in the United States, saying that it was this money that was supporting Flavio Bolsonaro, Eduardo Bolsonaro. Now, Intercept Brazil has revealed a payment spreadsheet from Daniel Vorcaro for the Raver Havergate Fund, which is managed by Paulo Carlisto, Eduardo Bolsonaro's lawyer. And the suspicion is that this money was taken to the United States to launder money and pay bribes, and that it's supporting Eduardo Bolsonaro. Because here's the thing, Bolsonaro actually said he sent 2 million. But Eduardo Bolsonaro is living a life of luxury in the United States. Just the house he lives in costs 6 million reais. And he said that the house isn't his. That the house is rented. And the rent for the house is 30,000 reais per month. Those 2 million reais that Bolsonaro sent, according to him, to Eduardo Bolsonaro when converted to dollars, becomes 400,000 reais. 400,000 reais isn't even enough to pay the rent. Eduardo Bolsonaro has already been there in the United States for 1.5 years. So this money isn't supporting him. Now, Intercept Brazil revealed with documents that on February 13th of last year, $2 million were sent to the Raver Havergate Fund. In other words, converted to reais, that's 10 million reais February 13th, 2025. And on the 28th, 29th, at the end of February and beginning of March, Eduardo Bolsonaro leaves his position as a federal deputy with a salary of almost 50,000 reais and goes to the United States. From what it seems, he was confident that he would be supported not by his father's money, which converted to dollars is $400,000, which isn't enough for anything there, considering the wealthy lifestyle that Eduardo is enjoying there. He talked. He was definitely counting on that money that was supposed to go to the movie. So far, it hasn't gone to the movie. The money went to the fund managed by Paulo Carlisto in Texas, exactly where the house that Eduardo Bolsonaro lives in is, in Texas. And very possibly that money is supporting Eduardo Bolsonaro. All right, my dear? And we don't even know if Bolsonaro actually sent those 2 million reais, which when converted is nothing over there, not with the luxurious and wealthy lifestyle that Eduardo Bolsonaro is living in the United States. Now, 10 million reais, $2 million was sent just on February 13th last year by Daniel Vorcaro, saying it was for the movie. But for the movie, it seems like it hasn't arrived yet. And every month, as Intercept revealed through a spreadsheet, 2 million was sent. Dollars, $166 million, and every month it was sent. At least more or less 5 million per month. Isn't that why they are living off the gravy train? So a lot still needs to be uncovered, and a lot is being investigated by the federal police. And from what everything indicates, the movie was used as a money laundering scheme for criminal activity, to launder money and to pay bribes. That's the truth. They still haven't accounted for it yet. Did you see that, Ivan? Shall we go to the next question? Maria Sueli asked the following question. Good afternoon, everyone. Dr. Andrea Gonçalves, do we already have enough information for pretrial detention? Maria? Pretrial detention, especially preventive detention, is based on certain requirements, such as, for example, obstruction of justice, trying to hinder investigations, witness intimidation, and so on. And for me, in my opinion, that's already the case. There is already enough evidence for an arrest. Whose arrest? First, Claudio Castro. Claudio Castro needs to be arrested. Former governor of Rio de Janeiro, removed from office, hunted, ineligible, involved in the Banco Master fraud, and also involved in the refit fraud. There, along with suspicion of involvement with the militia, Redcom and so on, Claudio Castro is from the same political group in Rio de Janeiro as Flavio Bolsonaro. So for me, there is already enough evidence for the arrest of Claudio Castro. Now there are grounds to question and summon someone. Who? Who in particular? Karina Gomez. Not Gomez, Karina Gama. Karina Gama is the sole owner of Go Up, which produced Bolsonaro's film, which has contracts, several contracts with various entities, with the City Hall of São Paulo, 108 million, which turned into almost 160 million. 160 milhões. She received earmarked budget funds for an NGO she also owns. And it seems that Go was only created to produce Bolsonaro's film, specifically because it had never made any film before. She is the sole owner. So, she received money from everywhere. It's unclear if she got money from Daniel Vorcaro or if funds intended for his film were actually used for it. But she received money from the São Paulo City Hall. She received from the Federal District under Ibanez Rocha. So for me, she needs to be summoned to provide clarification urgently. And in other cases, Ciro Nogueira. Ciro Nogueira was just implicated. There is also evidence for his arrest. Ciro Nogueira, federal senator and former chief of staff under Bolsonaro, was implicated by Daniel Vorcaro, just like Claudio Castro. In my view, the ones who should be arrested are the former governor of Rio de Janeiro, Claudio Castro, and Senator Ciro Nogueira. And for other measures, questioning, summons, Karina Gama, and Flavio Bolsonaro, questioning and summons. And if Flavio Bolsonaro comes up with another trip to the United States, his passport needs to be seized. Why? Because he might be coordinating stories. He's already been to the United States. We know that Eduardo Bolsonaro is there, that Eduardo Bolsonaro, from what everything indicates, was the one who received the money, the Daniel Vorcaro mafia. Flavio Bolsonaro was the one who collected here. So those measures also need to be applied to him. Now, obviously, the federal police, with the body of evidence they are gathering, should request these measures as soon as possible. All right? And let's wait. Why? What do we want, Maria? Justice. Right? And for that, there have to be some preventive measures, mainly so as not to hinder the investigations. We're talking about billions of reais. Fraud, mischief, shamelessness, trickery, and that's money to coerce, intimidate, buy witnesses. So we have to be very careful. And these precautionary preventive actions are necessary, and it's about time, you know, my dear. Shall we go to the next question here, everyone? Patricia's question. Patricia Kogar, it seems. She says, Dr. Andrea Gonçalves, I received information that Vorcaro also talked about the president of the PP, which is Ciro Nogueira, about the governor of Bahia from the Workers' Party during the time of Credito Sexta, and the current government's Minister of Mines and Energy. Is that correct? It seems like that's correct, you know? See, dear? Patricia, it seems like that's correct. In the plea bargain, according to information, especially from Metropolis, Daniel Vorcaro would also have implicated others. Governor of Bahia from the Workers' Party, also a minister under Lula. The one from, it seems like it's from Mines and Energy, right? That's it. And also the president of the PP. The president of the PP, I think you're confused because the president of the PP was also named, and that was Ciro Nogueira. But he also turned in the president of União Brasil, Antonio Rueda, who apparently also received it. All of these were indeed mentioned in Daniel Vorcaro's plea bargain. And here, we are not going to protect anyone. What needs to be done? It must be investigated. And if they really got caught up in Daniel Vorcaro's criminal fraud scheme, whether they're from the right, the left, or the center, they need to be held accountable. They need to go to jail. That's how it works. And whoever it is, we're going to talk about it. We're going to show it. And if they're involved, they have to pay. Everyone, whether it's a minister, a governor, a senator, whoever it is, okay? And it's true, he did mention it. But so far, the federal police and the prosecutor general haven't accepted his plea bargain, Daniel Vorcaro's. Why? Because for the federal police and the prosecutor general, he's withholding names. For example, Flavio Bolsonaro. Do you understand? If so, the federal police and the prosecutor general won't accept it. What do they want? Like us, they want him to turn everyone in. It doesn't matter. Whether it's PT, right wing, left wing, or center, it doesn't matter. He has to turn everyone in. And the suspicion is that he's protecting someone. Notably who? Flavio Bolsonaro, hoping that he wins the elections and is shielded as president, and then shield Daniel Vorcaro as well. That's the situation. And that's the suspicion, you know, but it's true, yes. Shall we move on to the next one? Maria Azul. Here's what she says. Dear Andrea Goncalves, good morning, my dear. Please address these issues that are outraging me. Why did the headlines disappear so quickly? The 470,000 from Pastor Das Trevas, the 500,000 and the 61 million from the Banco Master case. There are still many questions. For mercy's sake, ease our outrage. My dear, I talk about it every day. I'm talking about the allowance. The one that Ciro, former minister of Bolsonaro, used to receive. He got from 300 to 500,000 reais per month as an allowance from Daniel Vorcaro. So much so that he was implicated, and Daniel Vorcaro for the first time confessed that it was a bribe payment. I say it every day. Those 61 million, my dear, that Daniel Vorcaro poured into that damn Bolsonaro movie, Intercept has already revealed the spreadsheet. It was 78 million, that's right. I say it every day and I'll repeat it every day because to me this movie was used to launder money. And money used to pay bribes for a criminal organization headed by Flavio Bolsonaro and Eduardo Bolsonaro. Obviously, it's the federal police that will have to show it, the prosecutor general's office to file charges, and justice to be served, obviously. But if it's got pig ears, a pig snout, and a pigtail, then that's exactly what it is. Now, there are also the 470,000 you're talking about. Shall we recap? The 470,000 were found in a black garbage bag at the house of the federal deputy, leader of the PL in the Chamber of Deputies, Pastor Sostenes Cavalcante, in an operation that targeted him and Carlos Jordi as well, two from the PL, where their aides, together with them, moved almost 30 million reais. And the suspicion of the federal police in this ongoing investigation is that they were using parliamentary allowance funds and diverting public funds. They were subject to search and seizure warrants by the federal police, and 470,000 reais were found in Sostenes Cavalcante's house, which to this day he hasn't explained the source of. No, he said it was from an apartment he had sold, from a property. Then we went to check, and his apartment still hadn't been sold to this day. So to this day, he hasn't explained where that money came from, cash that was kept in a black garbage bag hidden in his house. Yeah, God, homeland, family, and a lot of stolen and hidden money. Yeah, this police investigation, my dear, is still ongoing. And the police are still investigating this situation, okay? Just like the case of that guy from Goiás, that super annoying federal deputy, Gustavo Gaia. Gustavo Gaia, the suspicion and the police investigation that was going on, which even concluded, and the federal police charged him with several crimes, and we are still waiting for the prosecutor general's office to take a position on it. Crimes of corruption, document forgery, money laundering, embezzlement involving who? Gustavo Gaia. Which is the same situation, misappropriation of parliamentary allowance funds. This one involving Gustavo Gaia, the police investigation has already been concluded, the federal police indicted him, and it's now with the prosecutor general's office. The prosecutor general's office now has to decide whether to file charges, close the case, or request more investigation and more evidence. There's also this case involving Gustavo Gaia, which is already further along, and this other case involving Carlos Jordi and his partner Ines Cavalcante is still ongoing, you see? And I will always keep you very well informed. Any new developments I'll share with you, okay? If I haven't brought anything, it's because I don't have any updates yet, but soon we will. Let's go to the next question, my dear. Rubia Camara. Well, doctor, good morning. You need to make a short clip of your statement about Bozo deer so we can share it on social media. It was perfect, like everything you say. You never make mistakes. Oh, Rubia. Thank you, my dear. I do make mistakes, my dear, but we make mistakes trying to get it right because we are all fallible. Now, let me tell you something. There's a clips channel, you know. A lot of people don't know, but it's pinned in the first comment and in the description of all the videos of all the live streams I post. There's a clips channel. That's what it's for. It makes shorter videos so you can stay up to date with everything, so you can share specific topics. The link is always in the first comment and in the video description. It's the Clips channels, okay? The official Clips channel, Andrea Gonçalves official Clips, okay? Let's go to the last question here. Actually, it's not a question M is asking. Amy Luza. The new curtain for the kids, studying with the parents at home? Yes. What happened? I explained it on the live stream today, that project that Nicolas Ferreira is supporting, that parents will be able to teach their children at home. Parents have to go to work, folks. You have to leave the child at daycare. You have to take the child to school so you can work. But Nicholas, since he doesn't do anything with his life, created this smokescreen about homeschooling, right? Teaching at home. It's all just a smokescreen. It's all just empty talk. He still hasn't explained. He's flown 10 times on Daniel Vorcaro's private jet. What's that connection, right, Nicholas? He keeps making excuses for criminals and says the only good criminal is a dead one. Right, Nicholas? But what about having some shame? He doesn't have any. So everything they use as a smokescreen. But there's a catch. The truth is coming out. It's coming out so much that in the polls, Eduardo and Flavio Bolsonaro are plummeting. They're melting down. Why? Because people aren't stupid. And this is just the beginning, just the start of all the revelations. In a moment, I'll tell you something. Lula Chu wins in the first round, so hold on to your pants, cry all you want. And here's the thing, if you run, the beast catches you. If you stay, the beast eats you. And the beast is the federal police. There won't be any forgiveness for criminals. They're all going to jail. Right, Flavio? Hit the like button, like, comment, and share, and ask your question during the live streams at 8:30 and 12:30. I'll answer from Monday to Friday every day at 8:20 p.m. right here. See? Much love. See you at the next live stream. Take care. Bye-bye, Brazil. Wake up!